Hey everybody, Fred Minnick here, and today I'm going to tell you about my very first 90-point score of 2023. And that is Penelope Rosé Cask Finish. Now, more about that here in a minute. What I first want to do is I want to go over what I'm doing now in terms of my tastings, because I have changed them. I've changed them immensely. You know, if you're just now coming to my channel or just now learning about me, first of all, thank you for coming here. I appreciate it. You're going to find yourself in a very good community. A lot of great people out there in the YouTube world. Love a lot of the whiskey tubers out there. I've been doing this this is going on my 16th, 17th year. And I was trained by like master sommeliers and master distillers. And one of the things that I learned through my training, and also a taste mindfulness technique that I picked up in therapy, and when I just came home from Iraq and I was going through therapy, you know, like a lot of soldiers, I had a hard time. One of the things that I adapted for my own tastings, whether I was doing reviews for like a tasting panel or Whiskey Advocate or Whiskey Magazine, or even when I was in competition with like San Francisco World Spirits Competition, I would try to do this. I would try to taste a spirit 3 different times, and specifically, I would try to taste in 3 different days. Now, why is that important? It's really important to realize that you're human, right? You don't always taste the same every single day. Like one day you may crave Chinese food, the next day Mexican, next day pizza. You know, that's a very simplistic way of describing, you know, kind of how what you want or what you have tasted or the mood you're in can influence what you crave. Well, it's the same with tasting. If you go into a tasting and you have had an onion for lunch, or or you're in a bad mood, or you know you didn't get a good night's sleep, all those things can factor into your tastings. And so I kind of got, as I transitioned more into YouTube, did a lot more of my tastings over here on YouTube, I found myself getting away from that a little bit. Now, I applied that in my top 100, right? So I talked about that when I did my top 100 tasting, and I applied that tasting 3 times in 3 different days in that top 100. And I want to get back to that. So I have hired someone to pour my samples. And so also I'm very busy. Like I do a lot of events. And by the way, you should check out some of the events I got coming up. They're in the description. But I can take these samples with me. I can taste them on the road versus like, bringing a whole bottle with me wherever I go. And I have a spreadsheet that I can always pop my scores in. And my members, or what will soon be my Patreon community, you know, they will be able to see a lot of these like first and second tastings behind the scenes. So there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes content like that coming up. But I wanted to get back to this because that's really, for me, that's where I'm comfortable. After, you know, when the pandemic hit, I kind of thrusted myself in YouTube, and I was just tasting. And I hope that was educational for you. I hope a lot of people got a lot of stuff out of it. But from a taster's perspective, from my perspective, is, you know, trying to really, you know, be as good as I possibly can be. I don't think that was always the case. And so I want to get back to that level. And so I'm going back to my roots a little bit here with this. And this is the first time that I'm doing this in terms of offering it to YouTube and showing, giving you a little behind the scenes look into what this is like. So bear with me as I do this. I also have a detailed description of my grading system in the description. Now, if you're watching this video early, like in the first hour or so, it may not be in the description yet. I'm actually still writing it. I got to pick my kid up here in an hour, so I may not be able to get that up just yet. That being said, you get an idea of my schedule and everything, but I want to get back to that, and I want to tell you what I said. I'm going to tell you what I said about this Penelope Rosé cask finish. So first of all, I tasted these 6 products on 6 different days. Or not, I tasted 6 products on 3 different days. And that actually would end up spanning over that would span over a week. And so these were not bunched up together. They spanned out over a week. And so this is the rosé cask finish. Coincidentally, I really like this from last year. So I like last year's as well. But this was the highest grade that I gave out of those other 5. Now, the other 5, you can find the reviews in the description once I get that link up in terms of how my grading system works and everything. So you'll be able to see what I gave on those other ones. And of course, those who were with me on the live stream, the members who were with me on the live stream, this was sample QD8. QD8. I actually scored it a 90 in that tasting as well. So here were my kind of tasting notes for this: fruit roll up, cinnamon, caramel, pepper, and butter. And it really does have this fruit roll up thing, and I really do love that old school fruit roll up. Now I'm getting back in here and I smell that cinnamon again. A little bit of hot butter. That black pepper's on the palate. All those other things are there. Caramel coming in toward the end. Some cinnamon. This is a very, very good release from Penelope here. And here's another thing why I like getting back to this, doing this blind, tasting it 3 times. Is this taking all my bias out of it? When I'm tasting and I give these scores, there's no bias. I try to take that out anyway when I'm doing a tasting. But the first thing I would have done when I would have been reviewing this as the bottle by itself is I'd have been like, look at that, a glass cork. So that takes out all of my grumpiness when it comes to corks and labels and all that stuff. I'm just tasting the whiskey. No price connected to it. No really anything. But of course, in my reviews on fredminnick.com, I will have the pricing and things like that. So here is my first 90-point whiskey of 2023. Will it make my top 100? It's probably going to have a lot of stiff competition throughout the year. But that's certainly going to be one that you're going to be keeping an eye on. And something's going on with that rosé cask finish. I'm just saying, this is really, really tasty. And I scored it. I'm very firm in this score, being a 90, by the way. That is tasty. Some more details about it. It is clocking in at it's 4 years old. This is batch 5, and it is 94 proof. I think in the spreadsheet that I have here, I will get the pricing ads so I can tell you all while I am rocking and rolling here. But hey, that's going to do it for this. Thank you for your patience as I have been trying to roll this out. Gotten a little busy early in this year covering some news that I didn't necessarily want to cover. Of course, I got my big game party coming up. That's going to be next week. So if you're in Arizona, You want to come check out my big game party. There's going to be a lot of great bourbon there. Pappy will be there. The Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, some of that stuff will be there. There'll be a lot of good stuff. Been helping out a lot of charities too. So my 2023 has been a pretty full plate. So we are getting this scoring system out, rocking and rolling, and I really appreciate you you're tuning in. And thank you all so much for the support. I wish you all the very best 2023. And if you get a chance, give this right here a taste. It's my first 90-point score of 2023. Cheers, y'all. Be safe. And remember, vodka sucks. Cheers.